at least by the numbers, is the best Leaf?
Well, if we're talking about specifically on the power play, we can say Marner. If we're talking about all around, it's definitely not Marner. And I know that there's a lot of people who really love Marner and think that he is the greatest player in the world. And he is a very good player, but he might be the most overrated player in the NHL just because the Toronto presence is so powerful. And
Jeez.
Sorry, I'm just getting barged in on. But we can agree on a few premises, right? Last year was Marner's best year. He's primarily a playmaker. So one of the stats that I look at when I'm looking at how impactful offensively a player is, for example, is scoring chance generating plays, which is a statistic from Sportlogic that measures how often a player is involved in creating scoring chances for their teammates. So if we go through the whole league among forwards and we see who's the best in the league, the top is Connor McDavid. So automatically right there, good start, right? Number 2 last year, Sidney Crosby. Number 3, Austin Matthews. And then all the way down at number 12 is John Tavares, right with Sebastian Aho. They were tied last year. Then at 22, William Nylander.
Hey, get out of here. That's hilarious.
I know. And then at 26 is Mitch Marner. So
Wow.
26, that's great, right? So that you're in the top 1/3 of first-line players in the whole league. But you're also 4th in the Leafs and not too far ahead of former Leaf Nazem Kadri. So part of what's going on there is that the Leafs were fantastic at creating scoring chances in general, right? So they have a lot of guys in that top upper echelon, a lot of high-end elite offensive players. But Marner's not the guy driving the bus on his line. It's still John Tavares. And I think that when you look at Marner's season last year, you have to look at the history of Tavares' line mates. Look at what happened to Matt Molson. You look at the, I think, 40% drop in goals that Anders Lee saw with John Tavares gone last year on Long Island. This is a thing that John Tavares does for his line mates. They have career seasons with him. So is Mitch Marner a great player? Yes. But is he worth Austin Matthews' money? Well, no, he's not in the Crosby, McDavid echelon of the league. He's also a winger, so he doesn't have that versatility in the middle of the ice. I think he's made great strides defensively, and if we look at how good Marner is at transitioning the puck up the ice, he's right there with Nylander. He's really improved that area of his game. But is he worth that much money? No. I think he's an $8.5 to $9 million player as an unrestricted free agent right now.
How is he the guy holding up the market? Does everyone think that they're going to get $10 million? Because that seems to be the number that just gets thrown around for everybody now. It's happened in the last year.
And also, just to follow up, Andrew, who's the best RFA out of that group, in your opinion, to help answer Steve's question?
Well, I think it's definitely Braden Point, but I think the gap between Point and Marner was thinned out last season. And, one of the things that I was looking at is, when you're looking at the guys who were RFAs this summer, the guys who are comparable to Mitch Marner in total impact, is Mitch Marner better than Timo Meier? I think most people in Toronto would say yes. The data says no. Meier is actually significantly more productive, and especially when you look at how much more rare a goal scorer is than a playmaker. So you look at what Meier signed for, and it's hard to reconcile what Marner wants. But I think Marner's camp has made him the person setting the market by being so public about the demands. So I think most outside of Aho and Meier, who just signed with their smaller market teams at ridiculous contracts, thanks in part to the Montreal Canadiens for one, you've got a lot of players who are worth a lot of money just sitting and waiting and seeing, is it possible that the Marner camp can actually get this much money? Because if they can, then maybe I can get almost that much. I don't think Rantanen's going to get that much from Colorado. They just don't have the money Toronto does. But, Tampa Bay, with that tax incentive there, I think Braden Point's going to get a lot of money. So it's interesting to see the market not necessarily held up by the best player. Or, I don't know about how NHL executives view these guys, but maybe Marner isn't even seen as the best player. But the market is set by Marner because of the agent's public demands.